What's going on, trappers? This is Tommy Egan. Welcome back to J Will Trap TV. If you want to help me take over Chicago, make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and pull the notification bell.
So you know when we go live or make a new video. Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back with Power Book 4 Force Season 2, Episode 2. This episode is called Great Consequence. Let's get right into it. Let's go. So we start the episode off and we are at Chewy's crime scene. Remember in the last episode, Tommy took this dude out. Well, now we're seeing the detectives, from Chicago PD come up, and we meet this new cop from Chicago PD. His name is DeFranco. So we find out this dude DeFranco, he's pretty well versed about the streets, and he kind of, he really respects the black community. The cop that's with him, the beat cop, he kind of makes a remark and says, well, these people aren't going to tell us anything. They're not going to snitch. And he kind of, dresses them down and says, bro, you got to understand street code. You got to understand why these dudes don't tell us what the hell, why these dudes don't tell us anything. So eventually he walks up and he sees a homeless dude playing the saxophone, and he pays him to get some answers. And the guy doesn't tell him that Tommy did it, but he does tell him that Chewy got shot because he split from CBI and went over to treason. So we switch over to Tommy. He's meeting with Diamond, and he tells Diamond that he shot Chewy. And Diamond isn't happy to hear this. He's saying, bro, you can't just be making these moves without me. Tommy says that he had to do it, and he had to make Chewy an example so other people fall in and they know to respect him. Diamond tells him that they have to make smart moves or they won't be alive to spend the money that they're making. And so Tommy says, hey, my partner used to tell me the same thing, and he's talking about ghosts. He said, my partner used to tell me the same thing, so he takes his advice and he listens, but he still shot that dude. And my problem with Diamond, bro, is, come on, you're supposed to be the leader of the gangster disciples, and you just letting Tommy go around and kill your soldiers, bro? That's crazy. We go to Jenard, and he tells his goons that Chewy got hit, and he's saying that they need to get some get back, and he tells them that it was Tommy. We switch to Tommy, and he gets the drop on Vic. Vic is out, getting drunk out at the park, and Tommy comes up and offers him a job, says that, you don't got nothing going with your dad. Why don't you come work with me in CBI? And Vic is like, nah. Tommy then asks Vic who killed Liliana, and Vic says that he can't help him with that. And Tommy tells him that when he finds out who killed her, that he's gonna pretty much put them at the bottom of the lake. So Vic says that if he hears anything about who killed Liliana, he'll let him know. And then he asks him about Dahlia, who stopped Dahlia. And Tommy says if he hears anything about that, he'll let him know. So I think it was Tommy that stopped Dahlia. He had JP leak that formula, and now here we are. So we go to Walter, and he's meeting with one of his high-end drug connects. This dude wants Walter to move a bad batch of drugs, basically some pills, and if someone overdoses, it's lethal. They can't, if they go to the hospital, Narcan's not gonna bring them back. Walter doesn't want to sell them on the north side, but he says he'll sell them on the south side. Paulie tells Walter that he's gonna need Vic back in the fold if he's gonna be able to successfully push them in the south side. We go to Claudia, and she's sleeping with Brendan. Remember, Brendan, this is that dude from Dublin. He is the dude that's trying to clean out Walter and take over his operation. After they sleep together, Brendan tells Claudia that if Walter doesn't pay up or make more money, bring in more money for Dublin, that they're gonna cut his head off. We go over to Diamond, and he's gonna go see Jenard at his spot. He comes in and he tells him not to start a war with Tommy and that he should be afraid of Tommy. Jenard tells Diamond that he's pissed that he chose Tommy over, but Diamond reminds him that, hey bro, you tried to kill me in my own barbershop. Diamond says that he's choosing the bank when he chooses Tommy, and he tells Jenard that he blames everyone else for his mistakes. And he warns him one more time not to start a war that you can't win. So we go to Walter meeting with Vic, and he wants to get him back under his wing. He's trying to get Vic to sell the pills in the south side. Vic tells him no, and he tells him to go use Claudia, and he drops the dime that Claudia was the one who started Dahlia with Tommy. Walter says that he has other plans for Claudia, but that he wants to plant the Flynn flag on Jenard's territory on the south side. He also says that he wants to kill Tommy and Diamond, and Vic tells him that he's not gonna be his pawn. So then we go to Diamond at his barbershop, and the PO come in pressing, asking questions. What time did you open up? What are you doing? Who's next? Who's getting their haircut next? And Tommy walks in, he pretends to be a customer, and Diamond's like, yo, I need to get to, my customer, but then the PO's like, no, you need to give me a piss test. So they go handle that, and Diamond texts Tommy and tells him that he can't go to the meeting that Tommy came to get him for. So we switch back to Jenard, and it looks like Jenard took Diamond's advice because he's telling the goons to fall back on trying to kill Tommy. One of the goons is like, hell nah, he's pissed that his homie got killed, and he takes off. Jenard then gets a text from Miguel saying that he needs his money. So now we go to Walter. He's at Claudia's, penthouse, and he's asking her to run the South Side operation. Dang, this nigga desperate. He tells her that he knows about Dahlia, and he isn't mad about that, and she pretty much accepts the job. He also tells her that he wants Vic back in the crew, and she says that he needs time to mourn Gloria. He says that's fine, but he also needs assist, so he wants her to bring him back in. We go to Tommy going to Miguel's spot, And of course, Tommy gets pressed again when he's outside. We find out that they did a background check on Tommy back in New York, and Miguel comes out. But next thing you know, we get pulled up on by the Serbs. They're doing a drive-by. They are firing automatic weapons at our people. Tommy takes a guy out, but then Tommy gets hit. Miguel steps up and is able to drive these dudes off. Miguel picks the bag up and he tells his guys to bring Tommy in, and they patch him up. So we go to Stacy and we find out that her task force was not approved. One of the cops wants to go to the mayor and try to get help, but Stacy says that she knows people in Washington, D.C. that can help her and that she's gonna take that route instead. So we go back to Miguel's spot, and Miguel, he's talking to one of his goons, and they're saying, hey, this fool Tommy, he's crazy reckless. This nigga, he ain't got nothing to lose. He lost his whole business in New York City. And Miguel's like, that can be a valuable asset, having someone, you know, with nothing to live for and nothing to lose. So these dudes, they might try to use Tommy to hit back at the Serbs. We see that Tommy is being treated by Maria, and he's over here flirting with her at the same time, and she tells him straight up, if he knew what was good for him, he would stay far, far away. So she's trying to warn this boy. Tommy goes out with Miguel, and Miguel pretty much confirms it was the Serbs that shot at them. And Tommy asks Miguel about the background check they did on him, and Miguel says that they have eyes everywhere. Next thing you know, Miguel's grandma pulls up, and Tommy, you know, tries to be cool and say hello to her, but she just stares him down and walks past him. So Tommy's charm ain't really working on, you know, Miguel's people. We go to a bar, and Claudia has found Vic drowning in the bottom of a glass. She tells him, you know, he needs to pick himself up and get his shit together. And he's like, he don't want to hear that shit. This fool, he's still, you know. So she tells him that if Walter doesn't pay Dublin, that they're going to lose everything. And Vic's like, how do you know that? And then she tells him that she's been fucking around with Brendan. She says that she wants to help Walter rebuild. And Vic is like, Walter's just going to play you again. And he says that he's trying to protect her. And then she's like, how you protected Gloria? And then this pisses him off. He's like, man, fuck you. So he takes off. And he tells her that she is just like Walter. So your boy Vic is very depressed. Come on, Vic, get it together. So we go to Miguel and his grandma. And we find out this lady is pretty much in charge of their operation, or she runs it with him, or she's in charge, because this fool respects her, and she's over here saying that who the hell is Tommy, and don't bring this fucking white devil in here. This fool, he's gonna mess up our whole operation. Don't trust him. Miguel's saying that he gut him like a fish before he trusts him, but Tommy did save his life, and that he has been making a lot of money for CBI. He also says that they need to take out these Serbs, and then she tells him to work with Shay from the cartel to get approval to take them out. We switch over to Stacy, and I think she's in Washington, D.C. working with her people there, and she's trying to get that task force off the ground. So we find out that this girl has some kind of beef with Chicago PD, and that's probably why it didn't get approved. Stacy tells the woman that Tommy might be involved with the cartel, and this kind of changes things, and she says that they'll be able to get the task force approved if they can link Tommy to that cartel. But she's also gonna need some buy-in from Chicago PD. We go to Shanti's gym, and we got Jenard's goon earlier from the episode when Jenard told him not to go after Tommy. And this dude, he's over here punching a bag, and he's venting about how Jenard is pretty much not really running the gang well, and that he's pretty much a bitch. So she tells him he needs to stay loyal, but she's listening to the fact that, you know, these dudes aren't really mobbing with Jenard. So now we switch to Tommy, and he's over here telling Diamond what happened between the Serbs and Miguel's people. And he's saying they need to capitalize on it. Tommy said that when he was out cold, that he heard them talking about the drop that's coming up tomorrow, and he pretty much wants to intercept the drop. We go to a depressed Victor at a liquor store. He's picking up some alcohol, and a random girl all of a sudden says that she wants to go in the back room and, you know, do something. So, you know, Vic, he goes back there with her, and then the next, you know, the cashier from the store comes up. He's banging on the door, telling them to come outside, or he's gonna call the cops. And then Vic comes out with a pistol, robs the store, gives the girl some money, and this fool leaves. I thought that shit was so goofy. I was like, okay, this is dumb. So then he leaves, and he hops in his car. He's driving drunk. I think he ran a light. He gets pulled over by the cops. He gets out. He starts talking too much, throwing around the Flynn name. They hit him with the taser, and he's arrested. We switch to the club with Miguel meeting with Shay, and he's telling them that they need to hit these Serbs because the Serbs keep coming. Shay tells them that they can't make a move on the Serbs because that will destroy a major pipeline, and they're valuable. Miguel's like, yo, this is going to show that we're weak. And this dude Shay's like, bro, you're just a soldier, dog. Don't be kind of trying to tell me what to do. And if you do go after them, after I forbid this, I'm gonna take your sister down to Mexico, and we gonna do some things to her. So, you know, we'll go watch the episode. That nigga said a lot of things, and I'm like, damn, girl, yeah. So you can tell Miguel care about his sister because he's listening here. So we go to Jenard, and the Serbs are here to see him. They come in pressing. They check Jenard in front of his mans, and they tell him, hey, you need to keep on paying us until you get these projects that you promised us. Jenard says that he needs more time because he's trying to, you know, get Diamond to stop working with Tommy and come back to his side. Then next thing you know, the Serbs, they ask for their money. So Jenard gives them the money that he's supposed to give Miguel. So now your boy real short, because I think, these Serbians, they just gonna beat you up. Miguel, he a killer, bro. You seen what he was doing to people. So we go to the barbershop and we see Diamond, and he gets arrested by this woman for absolutely nothing. Then we switch to Jenard talking to Shanti, and he tells her about the Miguel shit, how he owes her money, and then she comes out and hands him a stack to take care of that debt. He's all like, oh, bro, I don't want to take another, handout from you. And she says, no, it's a loan, because when you're winning, I'm winning. So, hey, this girl's a good girl to have in the corner. She also tells him that, hey, your crew does not trust you. They don't like the way you're moving. You need to get your shit together. I know it's not easy, but you got to do it, or you're going to lose them or end up killed. So we go back to Vic. He's getting out of jail, and it turns out Walter got him out. Walter comes up. He apologizes for being a bad father, apologizes for killing Gloria, and he tells Vic that he wants to come back in. Vic says that he'll come back in, but he has to take Claudia off the Southside Project. And of course, Walter agrees. So this fool Vic told him he should hire Claudia, and then told him he should fire her in the same episode. So we go back to Diamond, and it turns out the cop was an old CO from jail. So I guess she was, digging him from inside and was waiting for him to get out. And now he over there tearing it up. Diamond gets a call from Tommy, and he takes off. We go to the next day, and now they are intercepting that drop. So they go in, they take out the Serbs. And then when Miguel's crew shows up, they take out Miguel's crew, they take the drugs, and they make it look like it was the Serbians that took out Miguel's group. And this fool Tommy going crazy. This fool Tommy pulling his mask off, showing Miguel's people who he is before he kills them. Diamond comes in, runs a dude over with a truck. Thought that was a cool little action scene, but I thought Tommy, a little reckless, bro. Calm down. We go back to Walter's office, and of course, Claudia is here, and she's pissed that Walter gave the job to Victor instead of her. Walter pretty much tells her, hey, man, I had to do it. You're not a man. And she demands, says, what her place in the family is and that she should be in charge. And it's not about her being a woman. It's about, what's hers. So, of course, Walter don't want to hear that shit. And she storms out. So Miguel, he comes over to, pretty much the drop, and he finds his dude's dead, but he also finds a Serbian. So Tommy's crew set it up to make it look like the Serbians. So now this dude, he's pissed. He wants revenge, and he might disobey Shay's order. We go to Tommy and Diamond. They are talking, and Diamond's like, bro, you've been doing a lot of killing. You cool with all this killing. And Tommy's like, bro, I'm trying to get to the top. Diamond says that it's going to be really hard to get Miguel to bring them to the table with the cartel. And Tommy says what they need to do right now is just let the Serbs and Miguel's crew fight each other and expand their territory at the same time. So, okay, I think that's a good strategy for now. So now we go over to Vic, and he is in front of Gloria's tombstone, and he is telling her that, hey, I know you're up there watching, and, you might think I'm about to just go back to work with my dad, but no, I'm about to take his ass out from the inside. So we got a white Tariq right here. We got the white Tariq coming in to take out his pops. We now switch to Tommy, and he's chilling in his car, and he is shot at by, Jenard's goon that was over boxing in Shanti's spot earlier. They don't hit Tommy, but they hit a young girl, and Tommy escapes with his life. So we switch to Stacy and DeFranco, and they're driving together. We find out they're together. Looks like maybe they just got back from having dinner or something. And he's over here telling her about how the CBI split up. And she's like, this is why we need to get the task force going. So now she's trying to get DeFranco to help. And DeFranco's like, bro, I'm not about to get involved in all this stuff. So it turns out Stacy has like a civil rights investigation going on into Chicago PD. So these dudes, they don't fuck with her like that. But she's trying to get that task force going, and she needs them. So now she's trying to use DeFranco to use, his influence to get the task force going. But he don't want to get involved. So DeFranco, he's called to that crime scene where the girl got killed. He gets there, looks at the girl. The superintendent's there, and this is about to be a big political issue. So he calls Stacy back, and he says, I'm about to convince the superintendent we're gonna get the task force going. That's the end of the episode, guys. I thought that episode was a little quieter. We got a lot of setup. All the Vic shit was unnecessary. Like, there was just too much of the Vic drunk shit, him going to the store, all that shit, just the woman even walking up out of nowhere. For a second, I thought he was about to get set up by, somebody, when he was in there doing the deed with her. But nah, we come out and we have this dude still like $70 from the cash register that he didn't even need. That was silly. I wonder who the dude was calling though. Who was that store owner calling after that happened? That definitely is gonna come back. Claudia just loses, like that kind of, yeah. The Flynn stuff was off this week, guys. They need to straighten the Flynn shit out, like for real. Like nobody wants to watch these dudes fight about what they're fighting about, and I'm down to see the war that's coming, to see if Walter gets taken out. But like this whole back and forth, make Claudia the boss. Now we're gonna make Vic the boss. Now we're gonna go chase Vic around for the whole episode while he's just doing stupid ass shit. Like that was silly. Tommy, I did like this. I did like how Tommy intercepted that drop. Put the Serbs against Miguel's crew. I think Miguel is probably gonna, because Shay told Shay told him not to, go after the Serbs. I think Miguel is going to try to use Tommy to go after the Serbs because he can use Tommy. Tommy's a white dude. So if he uses Tommy, it doesn't come back to him. On top of that, Tommy's trying to get closer to Shay. So of course he's going to try to work with Miguel and do whatever he wants him to do. And, you get to see Maria, right? The Maria scene's interesting. I don't know. Like, Maria, you don't know who this dude is? This fool Tommy's a gangster. You over here telling this dude, you get far away from here. This fool Tommy know what he's into, bro. Don't worry about it. Diamond stuff, bro. Diamond stuff is like Diamond. I see that. Okay, you definitely have to have someone like Diamond be the foil to Tommy. You can't have two Tommies in the fucking room trying to fuck everything up. So Diamond definitely has to be reserved. But some of the shit that Diamond just be letting Tommy do, like, bro should have got way madder about Tommy taking out a soldier, bro. That's still a CBI soldier, whether he went to treason or not, bro. You can't just go in and kill, a soldier like that. You're not from here. You from New York. I feel like people in Diamond's crew should have some disrespect towards Diamond just for letting Tommy do that without disciplining Tommy. And you can't even discipline Tommy. That's the crazy part. We got the cops in their task force, and I was so happy when the girls all like, they didn't get the task force approved, because I'm like, yes, man, I'm so tired of the whole task force shit, like, with Jenny and all that back in Power Book 2. But it looks like that task force is definitely coming, so we're about to see the cops moving a lot. We didn't get no JP or D-Mac this episode, or Tommy's mom, so they got put on the back burner. So overall, I'm gonna give this episode like a 7. There wasn't much, like not much. It's like a setup. Basically, they were setting up the whole cartel versus the Serbs thing. But other than that, like all that Flynn shit, that was not good. So we're gonna go with a 7, guys. We're gonna go with a 7 for this episode. All right. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, put on notification bell so you know when I go live or make a new video. All right, peace.